They say every secret begins as a whisper, and for Meghan Markle, that whisper once came from the one man who promised to protect her. Prince Harry. Behind the palace walls, his words slipped out like a confession dressed as a warning. He didn't shout. He didn't accuse. He simply said, "There are things about Meghan no one outside this family would ever believe." One quiet sentence that turned the air cold and changed how everyone in that room looked at her, because if Prince Harry himself hinted that not everything about Meghan Markle was what it seemed, what exactly was hidden beneath that perfect royal smile? This isn't about tabloid drama or red carpet gossip. This is about the before, the woman that existed long before crowns, courtiers, and cameras. The woman only a few ever saw, and one man will never forget. The story begins years earlier, in Toronto. The city was alive with lights, snowflakes, and whispers. Meghan Markle was there filming Suits, living in a modest townhouse, smiling for the world, and quietly seeing a prince who wanted to taste life outside his cage. It was supposed to be private, a quiet escape. But those who were around then say the night didn't go as planned. Something happened. Something that left behind no photos, no reports, not even a trace, just a lingering echo that would follow Meghan Markle for years. The kind of night that isn't written about, but remembered. By morning, everything was calm again. Too calm. Messages deleted. Phones off. Faces pretending nothing had happened. And that's when you realize, in Meghan Markle's world, silence doesn't come naturally. It's managed. It's designed. Someone always makes the calls. Someone always wipes the slate clean. Those who'd known her from the early days weren't surprised. Because this wasn't the first time Meghan Markle had mastered the art of control. Before there was a palace, there was Trevor Engelson, the Hollywood producer who thought he was marrying a sweet, ambitious actress in 2011 under the hot Jamaican sun. Guests called it the wildest wedding they'd ever seen, not because of the music or the vows, but because of Meghan Markle herself. The way she commanded the room. The laughter, the rhythm, the chaos. All perfectly choreographed. She knew exactly what people wanted, not emotionally, but atmospherically. Trevor Engelson once told friends that she didn't just attend parties. She directed them. She made sure every detail felt effortless while hiding the effort behind it. That was her gift, control disguised as charm. But when the marriage ended, she didn't simply walk away. She erased him. Contacts gone. Friends separated. Photos quietly disappeared from the public eye. Trevor Engelson became a ghost in a story he once starred in. That pattern would repeat, again and again. When Meghan Markle moved to Toronto, her world evolved. By day, she was the glossy actress, championing self-love and charity on her blog. By night, she entered a different orbit, one that revolved around a single name whispered across the elite circles of the city. Soho House.it wasn't just a club. It was a gate into another universe. The kind of place where the lights dim low enough to forget the world outside, and privacy is the first rule of survival. To most, Meghan Markle was simply another member. But insiders claimed she was something more, the connector. The woman who could open any door with a smile, who knew the right names, who never asked questions but always had answers. Her gift wasn't money or status. It was discretion. In that world, you don't get invited twice unless you know when to stay silent. And Meghan Markle never broke that rule. Even then, she understood the delicate balance between charm and secrecy. To the public, she was an actress building a career. But behind those members-only walls, she was learning something far more powerful. How to control perception itself. It was there, insiders say, where Prince Harry first saw something he didn't expect. Not scandal, not sin, but confidence. A woman completely at ease with powerful people, with whispered deals, with eyes that noticed everything but never revealed anything. He had spent his life surrounded by handlers. Meghan Markle had spent hers learning how to navigate them. When their paths collided, it felt electric. Two people shaped by isolation, one born into it, one creating it. He saw freedom in her. She saw legacy in him. And for a brief, beautiful moment, both believed they'd found salvation. But salvation built on secrecy always comes with a price, because Meghan Markle never just moved forward, she reinvented. With each new chapter, the old one vanished. When she left Trevor Engelson, the traces disappeared. When she left Toronto, the friends faded. When she entered the palace, the past dissolved into polished silence. Every version of her life rewritten cleaner, brighter, safer. People called it growth. But those who'd watched her closely knew, it was precision. Every reinvention was a new mask, every silence a calculated move, and maybe that's why when Prince Harry finally whispered that line inside the palace, "There are things about Meghan no one outside this family will ever believe," it didn't sound like betrayal. It sounded like realization, because deep down, he wasn't talking about a secret. He was talking about a pattern. The woman he loved had spent her life mastering reinvention. And somewhere along the way, he started to wonder, which version of Meghan Markle was real? When the cameras started flashing, the fairy tale version of Meghan Markle came to life. The elegant duchess. The humanitarian. The picture of grace and calm. But beneath that glow, something quieter began to stir, the weight of stories untold, and a trail of people who once thought they knew her, because behind every polished smile, there was a silence. Behind every headline, a missing name. Friends from college who never heard back. Family who learned of her engagement through the news. Co-stars who said her phone went dark the moment she got the royal call. To the world, it looked like privacy. But to those who'd seen it before, it looked like another reset. You see, Meghan Markle never destroyed her past. She simply edited it. One careful erasure at a time. It's what made her rise so flawless. Every flaw polished out, every inconvenient truth blurred just enough to pass the eye test. And when she entered Prince Harry's world, that instinct didn't vanish, it evolved. Because the palace was the one stage where image wasn't just everything. It was survival. Inside those ancient walls, tradition is oxygen. One wrong breath, and you're suffocating. Meghan Markle, though, adapted fast. She learned the codes, the smiles, the silences. She mastered the interviews, the pauses, the glances, the words that said everything and nothing at once. And for a while, it worked. She was the modern face of the monarchy, the global duchess with Hollywood sparkle, but perfection has cracks. And slowly, the questions began. Her official biography once painted her as the academic star, double major, fluent in languages, an achiever beyond her years. But after quiet revisions, most of that was gone. One line remained, Meghan Markle, actress from Suits. It looked harmless. But those in the know said it was a signal, a gentle distancing. The same palace that once defended her was now trimming the myth it helped create. Then came the contradictions. The interviews that didn't align. The details that shifted depending on who was listening. She once said she never Googled Prince Harry, then described him with a precision that felt practiced. She spoke of isolation in England, yet flight logs showed she traveled often, slipping in and out of cities without headlines or explanations each time the narrative bent. The world leaned closer, trying to glimpse what was real and what was rewritten, and still, Meghan Markle smiled. Calm, collected, composed. The same posture she'd perfected years ago in Toronto. Because that's her real skill, not performance, but containment. Knowing exactly when to speak and when to vanish. When the whispers about Archie's birth began, the hospital kept secret. The names missing from the record, the mystery around who delivered him, the palace offered silence. Meghan Markle didn't argue. She didn't explain. She let the silence grow, because silence keeps control. When people don't know, they speculate. And in speculation, she stays the author of the story, but every silence leaves fingerprints. And over time, the pieces start to form a pattern, from Trevor Engelson in Hollywood, to the Circle in Toronto, to the courtiers at Kensington. Every chapter ends the same way, distance. Deletion, disappearance. It's not malice. It's method. She doesn't burn bridges. She quietly removes the map, and maybe that's why Prince Harry's quiet confession hit so hard, because he was the first person who saw the whole pattern from the inside. He saw the shifts, the edits, the rewrites. He watched as every version of Meghan Markle evolved into something new, brighter, sharper, and further from the last. But love can blind you. For a long time, he believed what the rest of the world did, that reinvention was strength, that control was composure. Until control started controlling him. Two people close to Prince Harry say his tone changed over time, from admiration to confusion. The woman who once offered him freedom began deciding who he could trust, who could visit, who could speak. The protector became the gatekeeper, and still, he loved her. Maybe because in Meghan Markle, he saw his own reflection, someone forever running from a world that misunderstood them. Two fugitives of fame building their own kingdom of silence, but silence can be a cage, too. And when the walls began to close, the world noticed. That's when the interviews started, the tearful revelations, the emotional moments, the war with the tabloids. Yet even in her most vulnerable scenes, Meghan Markle never lost her poise. Every pause timed, every phrase measured. A woman who'd been performing truth so long she made the world forget to question the script. Maybe that's her real genius. Not deception, direction. The ability to frame her life like a narrative, to curate empathy, to turn doubt into sympathy and control into compassion. But those who've watched her longest say something different. They say Meghan Markle doesn't lie, she edits. She tells just enough to be believed, just little enough to stay untouchable, and that's why her story endures. Because no one truly knows where it ends, or if it ever does. In one of his rare unguarded moments, Prince Harry once told a friend, she makes the world see what she wants them to. It wasn't said with anger. It was said with awe, because deep down, he understood, Meghan Markle wasn't born royal. She built herself into one. Layer by layer. Scene by scene, the girl from Los Angeles who became the actress. The actress who became the Duchess. The Duchess who became a mystery the world still can't stop decoding, and maybe that's why. Even now, after all the interviews, the books, the headlines, the silence feels heavier than ever, because behind the perfect smile and the practiced calm, one question lingers like an unanswered prayer. Who is Meghan Markle, really? The woman the world adores? Or the performance no one was ever meant to see?